Hello, everybody. Welcome to TCU. We appreciate everyone being here on relatively short notice. My name is Mark Cohen, Director of Media Relations for TCU Athletics. As you know, it's a great time to be a horned frog right now. And if you haven't had a chance, when we finish, if you walk across the street, you'll see Amon G. Carter Stadium in mid-renovation. In the next few minutes, you're going to be hearing from the following people: TCU Chancellor Victor Puccini Jr., Big 12 Interim Commissioner Chuck Ninus, Clarence Scarber, TCU Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and finally, Christel Conte, Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at TCU. For the media in attendance, Chris will take questions at the podium. Everybody else will be available, as well as Chris and the numerous head coaches here for one-on-ones afterwards. So to begin, I'd like to introduce TCU Chancellor Victor Puccini.
Thank you, and I want to echo Mark's comments. We appreciate all of you coming here today. It's a big day in the history of Texas Christian University. I'm pleased to announce that today our Board of Trustees has accepted an invitation to join the Big 12 Athletic Conference. I want to thank Mr. Ninus for inviting us and the presidents of the Big 12 for inviting us. We're excited to be there. Joining the Big 12 brings us back to share a rich tradition with a lot of schools that we already have natural rivalries with. It connects us also with schools that are committed to the same level of academic excellence that we are. Over the past 6 years, we've been blessed at TCU to have unprecedented success in both academics and athletics. Applications are at an all-time high. We're recruiting and enrolling some amazing students. We've built some amazing facilities, and we've transformed the physical aspect of our campus. We've launched new academic programs, including a great new honors college. We've experienced great success in our campaign for TCU. We had an original goal of $250 million, and thus far we've raised a little over $375 million. We raised the goal to $375 million, and thus far we've raised a little over $402 million. Our football team won the Rose Bowl. Did y'all get that? Our baseball team went to the College World Series. Our women's rifle team was greeted at the White House by the president. We've had some amazing experiences, and now participating in the Big 12 will give both our student athletes and our students the chance to continue these great experiences. And we think it's a very important part of the collegiate experience for all our students. Now I'd like to introduce the Big 12 Commissioner, Chuck Ninus, who will say a few words. Mr. Ninus.
Thank you, Chancellor Puccini, and welcome everyone. Chancellor, TCU has traveled a long path, been to different places. Sir, I'd like to welcome you home to the Big 12 Conference. TCU has an outstanding record with student athletes. You take a look at their APR and their graduation rate, and you can see they emphasize student, and then you take a look at their success, and that's athletes. TCU, I was pleasure to present to TCU some years ago an Academic Achievement Award, which was given to the football team with the highest graduation rate. I was with the College Football Association at the time, and TCU achieved 100%. Tough to beat that. The 18 sports will be welcomed into the Big 12 Conference, and we look forward to having you join us. Everybody knows about the tradition of TCU football. I must admit to you, sir, that I'm a Wisconsin grad. But all is forgiven because Coach Patterson is one of my friends. So, on signing date, when you sign a letter of intent, you get the appropriate hat. On behalf of the presidents and chancellors of the Big 12 Conference, welcome.
Thank you. How's that?
Love the hat because it gives the illusion of hair. That is so good. At this point, I'd like to introduce the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Texas Christian University, Clarence Scarborough III.
You know, being a graduate of this university in the early 70s and being in the old Southwest Conference, and today come full circle and end up, really means a lot to me, I can tell you that. You know, the board takes this serious. It's not like we hadn't done this before. We've moved a lot of conferences. And so we had a lot of good questions in there. We had a lot of interest. We got what we think we know we're getting ourselves into, and we're excited. And I can tell you, we realize the commitment that we've got to make at this university in the future, and we're willing to make it, and we think we can make it. We've proven a lot of things. Coach Patterson's proved some things, our coaching staffs, and I think we're there, and I think we're going to take this step and be good also. So there's two people I want to tell you that have done a ton of work. One of them, I want to introduce Rick Wittenbreaker. Stand up, Rick, so everybody can see you. Rick is the chairman of our athletic committee, and I'm going to tell you this guy. And then the next person, I'm going to introduce him here, and he'll probably be taking some questions and stuff, but this guy has been all over the place, and he's only been here for 2 years, and we win a Rose Bowl. Look at this guy. So, Chris Delconte, our athletic director.
Hi, everybody. This is definitely a great day to be a TCU Horned Frog, I can tell you that. I am absolutely fired up. But before we move forward, I just want to thank our coaches and our student athletes, because today is about you guys. What you've done since the day we left the Southwest Conference, we never made an excuse. Why not us? Every time you point a finger, there's 3 pointing back at you. You guys decided we will take care of our own. We will get to the promised land if we work hard and we believe in each other. And you did that. And today is living proof that dreams do come true because of your efforts. Coming full circle and coming home lies at the feet of our student athletes and our coaches that believed in themselves, and to our donors, board of trustees, and our chancellor that said, if we continue to invest, good things will happen. And when we got that faithful call, 7:42 on a Thursday, I about passed out. Chuck called, I was like, excuse me? I went inside and I shed a tear. We worked so hard to be here. I mean that. It's an amazing time for us, but when you think about all the hard work and the conversation, I met with Gary last night, we're sitting here talking about the last 14 years, and to see the iron in his voice and to see the excitement, he goes, God, we're here. And when you sit with a football coach, you can talk about the emotion and the trials and tribulations he's been through. It's a pretty special moment when a coach says, hey, we got to do what's right for TCU, and this is right for TCU. So coaches that are here, the student athletes that are here, I can't thank you enough for giving us this opportunity to come home. Chuck, Tim, what you guys have done for us and give us this opportunity is truly special. Chancellor and the Board of Trustees, you give us the faith and the belief that we can accomplish our dreams, and for that, it's absolutely fantastic. Great day to be a frog. Let's get her done. Okay. Questions? We have questions or not, we can just go and yes.
Oh, thank you. You mentioned getting the call at 7:32. I think you said Thursday.
42.
42.
Just give me an extra 10 minutes.
Thursday morning. Can you just detail the process of when conversations started? I'm sure there were some talks before Thursday morning.
Actually, I never heard from him until 7:42. No, I'm just joking. Really? No, I think this is a process. I want to be clear. This is a process of conversations. But they've been happening throughout the board. This ever-changing landscape of intercollegiate athletics, it was the conversations that were continuing to happen. And at the same time, we were so thankful for the opportunity the Big East gave us. And that conversations were going so good. Yet at the end of the day, things were changing rapidly. And the rapid conversations changed relatively quickly. It was not something like just, hey, that we've been working on this for days and days. I mean, I've lost a lot of weight, but I'd be emaciated if we really worked on it any longer than what we had, because there was a time that happened, but it was relatively quickly. Mr. Ninus has been on the job maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So these conversations happened relatively quickly.
Chris,
Hi,
was there?
You called me late last night, like 11
Thanks for
o'clock.
not calling
Really,
me
I was
back.
out. I mean, what were you thinking?
weren't. That's what you all say. Oh, I didn't hear my phone.
Oh, I heard it.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
Was there any hesitation on the part of the board or anybody to stay the course and stay in the Big East, or was this a unanimous yes?
Absolutely a unanimous conversation. I think the conversations were unanimous in that they understood where we've been. But there were lengthy, deep conversations. Our chancellor is a very thoughtful individual. And when you have a board of trustees that's so thoughtful and thinks and cherishes this institution with all their heart, they had really good conversations. It was not just like, attaboy, and we're done. We had to go through and talk about TCU and what this does for academics, what this does for us as an institution. So they were very thoughtful. But at the end of the day, it was we know where we're headed.
Was it a difficult conversation to have with the Big East Commissioner and any of those gentlemen who were in charge of allowing you guys, inviting you guys in last year?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a very difficult conversation just because you feel for the human spirit. And these trials and tribulations that people are going through, you've got to remember, there's a lot of hurt feelings around the board. The one thing I am super proud of this institution is the class and dignity that we handle things. From the onset, we had conversations. It was never about the midnight backing up like the Colts and leaving in the morning. It was nothing like that. We were always having conversations to make sure that everyone understood. But at the end of the day, those are always difficult conversations to have. But they understood, they appreciated us, and they understood what it meant for TCU to be home in a regional environment. And it was, at the end of the day, we got the thumbs up. And I heard from every single AD congratulating TCU, understanding TCU and the move, and that made me feel good about this institution and our leadership with the Chancellor and how he conducted himself across the board, because that speaks volumes of this institution. Stephen?
Yeah, Chris, can you go into detail about the penalty for leaving? What do you guys have to pay the $5 million to the Big East
I think
escape that?
I think everything that is currently in the contract, we will work through. We're not subject to the 27-month arrangement, but there is an exit fee that will be taken care of through intercollegiate athletic revenues.
Were you guys full steam ahead in the Big East until Syracuse and Pittsburgh announced the ACC?
I think we were full steam in the head and every intention until a conversation started to take place that gave us a glimmer of hope. Because you never knew which way we were going to go. Up until the Sunday, we were thinking, what is happening? You could never tell what the landscape was. I got an email saying, we're going to the SEC. I said, really? I think I heard it from you. I mean, you never know what you hear from, quality media saying, I heard this. I'm like, really, Stephen, what have you been on?
Well, can you give us a better time frame when you guys first started talking to the Big 12?
Like I said, relatively
In
quick.
September?
I talk to everyone 24/7. I mean, I'll wear you out if you give me an opportunity. So I would say that it's been pretty, but I mean, relatively speaking, Mr. Ninus, Mr. Weiser have been on this expansion relatively quickly. So it's not like this is a long-standing situation. We were pretty much heading down the path of the Big East. Like I said, the last couple weeks, maximum maybe 10 days. Yes, ma'am.
How soon will you all benefit from the full revenue sharing of the Big 12? Will it be phased in, or will you be a full member immediately?
Well, you write to the money. Who do you write for?
Dallas Morning News.
Dallas Morning News.
We've talked.
I know you. Hey, prom date. Holy cow, there you go. We're working on a better outcome than your prom date. So the idea being is we're going to be just like anything else. We will be a full member of the Big 12, and there will be a phase-in phase that we'll be moving towards. But we are so happy that as I move forward with this, what I truly love is I love the fact that DeLoss Dodds and Joe Castiglione, President Bourne, and President Powers got together and said, you know what, we're going to make this an unbelievable, viable league. And when you talk about the grant of rights that they've committed to making the Big 12 a special football conference in this region, tells you about the leadership of those two institutions. Because that, to me, spoke volumes of, you know what, we can take our ball and run, but no, we're going to galvanize and make something truly special. And those leaders need to be commended.
Chris, for the longest time, people around here had been told this was never going to happen. You had said it, we all believed it, because TCU didn't fit into the TV footprint that the Big 12 required. What changed about TCU that it was wanted by this league now?
I think that's probably a better question for Mr. Ninus, but if I was going to look at it just from a layman's point of view, I really think it's the success of our football program. When you think in our overall athletic program, but the success of our football program, the last 10 years, you could see the rise of our football program and the rise of our television partners have looked at it and said, you know what, we've become a player. You can think of our season ticket revenue has gone up. People watching the Frogs across the country has gone up. Applications from 4,000 to 20,000. Purple's hot, baby. I'm telling you right now, you just don't know that. You know, at the start, we're going to have to get you on our beat 24/7 there, Matt.
Chris, there's been some speculation that you guys might take over A&M's schedule in football. Is that any truth to that?
You know what, I think everything right now is currently up in the air. I think there's just some speculation because there's 10 teams, but I think once Mr. Ninus, Mr. Weiser get through the whole situation, we'll figure out where we're at. But I'm assuming we are just because of what the landscape we know, but I'm, you know, like anything else, they'll have different opportunities. Trying to get through rivalries and see who natural rivalries are in Thanksgiving and all those things. So, but right now I would assume that just know that we're in the Big 12. Other than that, let's not worry about anything else just yet. July 1. Anything else? We're good. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here today. Great day for the Frog Nation. Thank you.